We're here at the potato patch now, and when I toured it, I still see a couple of potato bugs. The product we use says not to retreat for at least 7 days, and I think it was a maximum of 6 treatments in a year, and you had to treat so much before harvest. Well, we're a long ways from harvest yet. The flowers are showing up nicely now on those potatoes, and there's still a few potato bugs here, but they're greatly reduced, and so I'll probably treat at least one more time. Potato bugs get tolerant to different kinds of treatments, so you got to be a little bit careful and not treat apps any more than you absolutely have to, because they'll just get tolerant that much faster, and then you've got another way. But next year, we planted these potatoes this year right next to where they had been last year, and I think that's our biggest problem and why we had such an early potato bug infestation. And next year we're going to move them, not sure where, but we're going to get them far away from this spot as much as we can anyhow. So I'll take a quick look here in our homemade high tunnel. This was actually a shelter building that we bought the framework used from another guy that was done with it, and we put greenhouse plastic on it, and had to make some end walls, but this thing does do a nice job of extending the season. It's certainly not nearly as nice as high tunnel or a real high tunnel would be. It's a little more difficult to use. We've got to manually lift the sides and control them to keep the temperatures down when it heats up in here, but you can see this dill is just incredible. It's got to be almost 5 feet tall, and this is all volunteer dill from last year. And we've got some nice kohlrabi here, tomatoes. I think this is some Romanesco that's starting to come in, and we've got peas way at the back there. So this has been a real fun thing. It has extended our season. We've got a lot of peppers in there also. So this has definitely been worth it was some work, but it wasn't that expensive, so definitely been a help. Maybe someday we'll go to a real high tunnel. And then looking at our cover crop area, we just, in the first video or last video, I think I showed the cover crop, which was 2 feet tall and some places taller, and I mowed it all down and tilled it in, and now we're putting our second cover crop in here. It's what, the 5th of July now. And our second cover crop's going to be, primarily it's going to be buckwheat, but we also put in some till radish. It's all planted, nothing's showing up yet, but it won't be long. We'll keep track of this. I expect to get at least 3 cover crops into this area. This is number 2, and I think the last one will probably be winter rye, but that's our cover crop. This is one area of our garden. We've been trying the last couple of years of putting in cover crop in between the rows. Instead of trying to keep the weeding and tilling and everything else, we're trying to reduce our tillage. And I think the manure we put in last fall brought in a lot of weeds with it, and we've done, some of the rows have been weeded real well, but others haven't, because we're waiting to see. We haven't seen what comes up there yet. So, but in between the rows is winter rye that we have to mow, and it's due for mowing again now. Peas aren't looking too bad, although this hasn't been a pea year. Much too hot for peas, so peas don't like it too hot. But I think this winter rye is doing a nice job for us of we're getting the benefit of a cover crop, and we're doing some weed control, and we'll get the cover crop benefit as far as green manure when we till it in later. So garlic back in the back there, all the scapes are off of it now. A little bit of it's getting ready for harvest. I think we wait for 3 leaves to die on those garlics before we harvest them. Some of them are starting to look like that. Most of them aren't. But that's a real quick update, primarily on the potato bugs. But Cedar Valley Rob saying goodbye. Hit like and subscribe. Thanks.